What's up, guys, and welcome back to The Ride Home. My name's Mitch, and I'm here with my friends
Trip
and Daniel.
Today, we're talking about generosity.
Yeah.
Generosity. Giving away stuff.
Yeah. And we're coming at this from a Christian perspective, which I think changes a lot about how we view generosity.
That's true.
I think. No. It does. So we've got like the baseline generosity that like the Bible tells us, like set in stone, like boom, do this. But there's a lot more to it, so it's gonna be interesting to dive into and get your guys' take on it.
Yeah, but before we do, what you drinking, Trip? What you got there?
I am drinking an Alani energy drink.
Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah, specifically a cherry slush mini.
I got juicy peach. Very delicious.
Yeah, this is the first time I've had an Alani, and I'm impressed.
Good.
Yeah.
What you got, Daniel?
Oh, gotta represent Propel.
Represent
Propel.
Love that.
That should have been their slogan.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. We trademarked that first. Represent. Reach out.
So, before we jump in, you guys want to do like a little blind ranking, a little mini game?
Always.
Let's do it.
All right.
Love a little side quest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys 5 iconic fast food menu items,
Okay.
and you gotta rank them 1 through 5 without knowing what comes next. So
Do we have to agree on it, or is it each of us separately?
now let's go with agree because I don't want to write it down twice to keep
Yeah,
track.
that's fair. That's valid.
All right. So first one up, the Big Mac.
The Big Mac.
Maybe the most iconic fast food item.
I would say
That's number 2.
number 2 is
Wow.
a bold statement. I don't know if it's number 2.
What is it?
I think we got a number 3 at best.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Started in the middle.
I think that's the safest assumption. And face it, there are better things than the Big Mac.
I do like the sauce.
Oh, I thought you were going for like that. This should be number 1. But yeah.
No,
I'm good
number
with 3.
Number
I'm
3.
good.
Oh,
Yeah, good with
okay,
3.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
All right,
yeah, bro.
Big Mac at 3.
Okay.
All right, second one up, the Crunch Wrap from Taco Bell.
I'm gonna be honest, never had it.
Which one?
What do you mean?
I
Which
think
one?
this is
Like a
loaded
normal
question.
Supreme one or like a breakfast one?
Oh,
Well,
normal
if it's
Supreme.
the Crunch Wrap, it's got to be normal.
Yeah.
Give me
Okay.
some breakfast.
Man, it sucks because I really like those, but I'd have to say 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
give my
fine with it.
opinion. It's not as good as the Big Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crunch
I've
Wrap?
never had it, but I'll take it. I don't
All
like
right.
Taco Bell that much.
Crunch Wrap at 4.
That's
All
like the
right,
most
so you have 1,
authentic
2, and
Mexican.
5. All right, third one up,
5.
the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
I think it's a solid number 2.
Yeah, 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll go 2.
Number 2.
It's very good, but it leaves a little something to be desired.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought you guys were gonna jump on that.
No, my wife, she would have put it number 1 all day. I'm more of a club guy. I like
I
their
thought that
I like
was
their
the
chicken
old
club.
With the bacon?
What?
I thought it was the old
Yeah,
popcorn.
with the bacon
That
and
is
the
good.
Colby Jack.
That's a good sandwich.
Ooh, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it with pepper jack too. if
Old
you
Bay
want.
popcorn, it's not a fast food item, Daniel. You can't get that fast food.
All right, you got 2 left. You got 1 and 5, so you're really risking it all.
Oh,
I'm willing to do that.
All right, the Dairy Queen Blizzard.
To me, it depends on what flavor.
Well,
It's just
okay,
the Blizzard.
Wait a minute.
Just
You
the
get to pick the
Yeah.
Blizzard. It's got to be
Oh,
number
okay.
1.
Well, yeah.
It's got to be. It's not. You can't say it's worse than the Crunch Wrap. Hands down. I've never even had the Crunch Wrap. But
Yeah.
I can stand by that. There are some.
This puts us
There
in
are
a
some
sticky
Blizzards.
situation.
All right, it leaves you with 5.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something great though. It's gonna be like McDonald's chicken
But I
nuggets,
feel like
and
I
I'm gonna
can't
feel
put
bad
one
about
in.
it.
You would. Well, all right, you're putting it at 1.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
1. Blizzard's a 1.
Number 5. I think you'll be happy. The Whopper.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you're
fine.
not thrilled about that.
I mean, I used to have a boss who they loved Burger King. So we would go to Burger King if we went out to eat 5 days a week, we would normally pack a lunch. I didn't always eat there.
Yeah.
But like 5 days a week, we'd go to a restaurant. 3 of those days we were at Burger King every single week.
My.
And it got to the point I was eating some Big Macs. Not some Big Macs, some Whoppers. Some Whoppers.
You got Big Macs on the mind.
And honestly, they grew on me. They had this like sale back then. It was like 2 for $5. You get like 2 Whoppers, like a
yeah.
Whopper and some nuggets or something.
Hmm.
And I was just eating it up, man.
Big Whopper.
It was
eating it up. What's
Yeah.
the have it your way? Is that their logo?
yeah,
slogan?
BK, have it your way. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Terrible song.
it is. It is that song. But
Whopper. You just get really close. For those with earphones, noise alert.
oh man, that'll be fun to listen back to.
Yeah, that was a first time trial run there on that. Sorry.
Yeah, but jumping into generosity.
Yes.
So when I think about generosity, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind, I feel like comes to a lot of Christians' minds most likely, is just the tithe,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like your bread and butter of generosity almost, of like the 10%,
Yep.
what you earn. And I remember when I was younger, when I was younger I wasn't saved, but once I was saved, that was a really hard step for me initially, like tithing. But like once you start doing it, I feel like that really changed a lot in terms of how I viewed it.
Yeah, 21st century perspective. Also, automatic withdrawal helps a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you don't even know it's there. It's just gone. Sunday
Yeah.
mornings is how I have it set up. Don't even think about it, thankfully. Also, it's just how Lord's blessed us financially and stuff, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think money in general is like where a lot of people think about generosity
Mhm.
as first
Yeah.
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, and I think like that can be challenging when you're younger. So I'm thinking like if you're high school, college, and it's like, well, I can't be generous now, so I'm just gonna wait
Yeah.
because maybe you don't have a job, you're going through school, or maybe like you've got a job but it barely pays your car bill. Like how can you be generous still in that opportunity?
Yeah. College time's rough, man. Like I'm broke.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good time to like remind yourself that there's other ways to be generous. One of the biggest ways to be generous is your time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Like, what do they say? Nothing's more valuable than time.
Yeah, time is money. So if you're donating
Oh.
your time, you're donating money. Look at that.
That's like extra layers to
Yeah.
that saying. Maybe that's where that saying came from.
I don't know.
But yeah, so just volunteering at the church or wherever you're at, or it doesn't even have to be something like that. Just helping a friend out.
Yeah, even like helping out around the house if your parents are like busy or sick, like
Yeah.
doing some extra chores is huge. Helping a friend move, that's a big one, especially in college.
Yeah.
Like every year around the same time, already every person you know most likely is moving.
Yep.
So like
A couple times.
you're gonna be busy moving too, but that's a huge opportunity to like just be like a light and a help to your friends and just like serving them like that.
I saw something on Facebook that that said if you're past 35 and your friends are still moving houses and that, just call someone. Don't call me.
Yeah, that's definitely a young man's game.
You're right. Getting close to that age where I can't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
You're also getting close to the age where you're moving your kids' stuff around too.
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Which was a terrifying thing to think about.
You could be generous with your talent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That's one thing that like I've noticed a lot recently. My wife doing, where like since she started being a stay-at-home mom, she's had a lot more free time,
Yeah.
and she's been able to use her talent in baking. Support
Nice.
multiple ministries by
Oh yeah.
by making cupcakes for a dinner the church had, by making all kinds of sweets, actually with your wife,
Yeah.
for another event recently. So that's a huge one
Yeah.
for her perspective, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even on serving at like the youth group and stuff. It's like a team of people that have different gifts. So like I feel like I get to use my talent in just kind of game prep and coordinating big nights and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where I have the chance to really give it my best. Does that make sense? Give my best foot forward.
Yeah, for sure. And like a lot of people will be like, we don't feel like we have a skill,
Right.
but everyone's got a skill in something. Like
Yeah.
if you're great at reading, like you can share that with somebody. You can go read to kids at a local school, or
Oh yeah. Yeah.
if you're great at video games,
Yeah.
like younger kids love playing video games with people that know what they're doing. Like I don't know, it's great, and you get to beat them.
Way too easy to think about talent as just like, I can't play an instrument. I'm not artistic. I guess I have no talent.
Yeah, right.
I'm
You
not
have-
athletic, you know?
You've got those
Yeah.
like baseline, like, is this a stat I level up in RuneScape? I guess that's an old reference. But like, is this man? What is something in today's world?
I don't know, I feel like Fortnite's old too now. I don't know.
For
I don't
real.
have stats in Fortnite, but like, is it something like, you know, you can get better at playing an instrument, and it's like very linear. It's like, well, I don't know if it's linear, but like, it's obvious when you're better at playing an instrument.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're someone who is really great at listening and having conversations, that's harder to quantify in a way, if that makes sense.
Right.
Um,
It doesn't really like just stand out. I think eventually it does as more people like get to know you and build relationships with you.
Yeah.
You can think about people from your life that are just like glowing people or just like super positive.
Yeah.
Like that's their talent.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's great. And a lot of people, like if they don't know it's their talent, they can like kind of hide it. But being generous with the talent is like showing it off, like not showing it off in a prideful way, but
No,
just
no,
like
no, yeah.
sharing it with those around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, God didn't give you talents to like keep it to yourself, to put
Yeah.
a basket over the lamp or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine if LeBron James was just like had a private court and that's the only place he played basketball.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
could you imagine how different the entire like basketball sphere would be
Yeah.
if he was just hooping in his backyard still?
Yeah.
No one ever knew. That would change history, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say that about any icon.
Yeah. It's all just their natural talent of being gracious with. And even like even when you look at like pastors, their gift is speaking, so they're being generous with that. And in a lot of instances, like they argue, like LeBron James is heavenly compensated for his skill. Like
That's true.
he's generous in other ways, but even still, like some people are doing work that's worth more than they're getting paid for it. And I think like pastors typically are a really good example of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and a lot of times, generosity, you shouldn't expect when you're being generous to get like a compensation, right?
yeah,
That's
because
a
then
whole other
it's
topic.
not even generous at
Right.
that point.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I'm like signing up for a job, you know, you can go above and beyond, but when I'm going above and beyond at work, you know, the back of my head is like, hopefully this gets me a promotion or some extra recognition, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not really being generous.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's another thing that like I feel like I've learned a lot over the past couple of years is like, especially in relationships, like if you're doing something to help a significant other or a friend, you can be like, oh well, if I get this week, they better bring me like they better do it next time. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
supply the snack, so
Yeah.
like I'm gonna go over there and they better have a snack. Like
Keep the receipts.
you
Yeah.
know,
Receipts,
just
yeah.
like counting the tab, like oh.
Mhm.
I brought you flowers, and I noticed you didn't buy many video games this month. I don't know. But yeah, that's not true generosity. So I think that's a really important thing to look at and
Yeah.
just kind of analyze. Yeah.
That little rabbit hole we went down of like true generosity made me think of I don't have the exact verse, but like 2 Corinthians 9:6 and 7. I just wrote down like highlights of those verses. I don't have the actual
Okay.
verses,
Yeah.
but it said like basically give what you decide in your heart cheerfully. You know, don't do it out of compulsion.
Yeah.
So like that goes all the way back to like tithing.
Yeah.
Like don't do it because other people are doing it or because, you know, that's like a normal, you know, thing. Like do it with a cheerful heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's with anything like we just went through, like talent, time, finance, like.
Yeah, if you look back in the story of the Bible, where you have the people, I think I don't remember if it was Pharisees or if it was just normal Jews at the time, but they were donating large amounts of money.
Yeah.
But to them it wasn't that much, and they just didn't care. It was nothing. But then there was a poor lady who had 2 pennies,
Yep.
and she gave that, and like God lifted up that gift so much more because of the amount of sacrifice it included. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So she gave more than anyone that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Daniel? Daniel's like, I don't believe in generosity.
No, it's good too because it's the biggest thing too with that is expecting or doing it without expecting anything back in return. And like you said, a lot of people have that mindset of doing it, and it's like keeping it like that. You owe me one if I do this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got done watching Suits on Netflix, and it's like watching that one. A whole bunch of lawyers in that, and they're constantly like every episode. It's like they owe each other one. Of course, it's just a show in that, but it's, every time every slight little thing that they did was like, oh, you owe me, and that was like the whole big thing. But that's that's all I've got for it. But yeah.
I've seen like I saw somewhere online. It was someone talking about they saw moms like sending bills back after they were watching someone's kid for a day. It's like that's like not like they having a play date.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, your kid ate like this many chicken nuggets.
Oh my gosh.
They threw away a paper plate and they like sent like an itemized bill for like having a play date. And it's like
that makes me think of
like anti-generosity.
Yeah. Rabbit hole here, but that makes me think about like tip culture today.
Yeah.
You know, all the memes are like you hold the door for someone like, oh, just a few quick questions, and they like hold out their phone like asking for a tip.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like that's really gotten everywhere. And I mean it is an opportunity to be generous.
Yeah. That's
but,
a weird one, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because like especially there's some services where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like
just that cashier that I don't know.
Yeah, like
you scan 3 things.
yeah, like if I'm going to the coffee shop and I'm getting like a pre-made Danish, do I need to tip you?
Right.
I don't know. It's an opportunity where I could, but like you're not doing a service. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And that is a weird one. I have like tipped above before because I'm like, oh man, they were great.
Yeah.
And then other times they weren't so great, but I'm like, well, I have to give 20%, you know?
Yeah. I'll say 99% of the time, even if they didn't do anything, I'm probably still gonna tip.
Yeah.
Like it's right there in front of you. They do they flip it around like, oh, here you go. You just have to sign this. Flips around like it has the tips. It's like, oh, you don't need to sign anything. You need to hit I don't want to tip you, and like then you just feel bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to flip this around and you have to see it right before you hand me my coffee. Like
It is so awkward.
Yeah.
It's like Dwight Schrute from The Office when he tells that one pizza driver that, or no, it was I think for subs or something like that.
Okay.
He's like, I'm not gonna tip because why would I tip when I can go home and make a sandwich myself? I just choose not to.
I do not remember that.
I think I remember that slightly. But I've seen that show so many times. That's super off topic, but
yeah,
I probably watched that whole series 9 times through. 7 of those times were like within a 2-year span.
Wow.
When I first discovered it, I just kept. I didn't watch anything else.
Yeah.
Just like finished it, started it
That's
again.
insane. I watched it through once. I loved it. I should do it again.
It's a great. What you gotta do. I'm being generous to you. This is some great advice.
Yeah.
Pull up Peacock. Peacock Premium. They've got the extended version of the episodes now.
Really?
It's like they had all these deleted scenes and stuff.
Oh.
But they added back in. It's like it's not all the way done yet. I think they have seasons 1 through 8.
Okay.
Because there's 9 seasons but it's got like 1 or no, it's 9 seasons.
Oh, you mean the Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
Ignore me.
Okay, well, it's either 1 or 2 seasons. It's not done yet, but it's great. Highly recommend.
Highly appreciate.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the best show to watch in terms of the Christian perspective, but it's a great show.
Definitely some questionable.
A good time. If you're in high school, ask your mom first.
We should talk about that on an episode, like
Yeah.
what we watch and listen to as Christian people.
For sure. That's definitely something that's evolved a lot for me.
Yeah.
But
anyways, generosity, giving people stuff. Sorry. No. Like everything that's like a core value as Christians, is really because Jesus led that example, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we see, I think one of the most generous moments in the Bible, at least from my perspective, is when Jesus is washing the feet of the disciples.
Oh yeah.
Which I guess he's giving his time. I wouldn't say that's a skill, but like he's stepping below his rank in serving people
Yeah.
in the grossest possible way, if we're being honest.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
dirty, crusty feet. You're just taking them, like you're just washing them off. I can't think of a worse thing to do before I ate dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if he can do that, I mean, we can do the little stuff easy.
for real.
Right.
So
And obviously Jesus, is our Savior. So we freely receive his sacrifice by like putting our faith in him. What am I saying?
No. I just went straight to that as being the most gracious thing when he literally died for us.
Well,
Yeah, he literally died for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So, and we can freely receive that gift, right? So, like, we should freely give to others as well. So
Yeah.
that, that's just like a principle, I guess.
yeah, we get to receive the gift of his salvation through his death. So like we can hold the door open. We can pay for someone behind us stuff. We can
I'm gonna start like randomly laughing at you now.
I was laughing at myself. It just sounded like I was laughing at you. Oh.
Yeah, that and the eye contact really made it seem like you were laughing at yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Actually, thinking about the, time given and all that too. We are just talking in our youth leaders meeting about, having the youth help out around the community and that, giving their, donating their time,
And talent, or their youth, donating their youthfulness
yeah.
Yeah.
with physical labor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's always a great thing that like anyone, not anyone can do, but like most youth aged people, young adults can do. Like was it last year or a couple years ago that we all went and we helped the leader of the youth group. He had a surgery. I can't remember what happened to him. He got real hurt.
shoulder
He had
surgery.
He had
No,
a
thumb or
surgery.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
And he
Whatever
always
side it was.
keeps just a really, really tidy yard. So we all went over there and we just did all the landscaping for him.
Yep.
And like that's a great example of coming together. We were generous with our time.
Yep.
A lot of people were generous with their money, buying all the resources we need.
Yep.
Just with our skills of actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great example of generosity.
That is.
And
That's a
not only that, but it was
Yeah,
not
we
only-
were so generous.
Not only that though, it was just a great time to like be able to hang out with each other and that, and
Yeah.
yeah, just doing that for someone else, and that actually really, not saying that people don't deserve it, but he was more than deserving for that too.
Yeah, I feel like more often than not, you find out that when you're generous, it's actually like it can be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
what I was wanting to say. Yeah. Being generous is fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even like there's the like you can see the person's face sometimes. That can be fun, or even when you don't, just like it just brightens your mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of imagining like I've paid for people behind me in drive-throughs before, just a few times. And I try to like look in the mirror, but usually everyone's got like all this tint and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't see. I'm like, I'm sure they're happy. I'm happy.
No one's ever been upset about getting free food.
Right,
like,
right.
That's
And-
rule number one of college in general. It's like
Yeah.
free food gets people there.
And you
Like,
don't know if it starts a chain or not, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't need to know, you know. I don't need to know, you know. Yeah.
I heard a hilarious story about. I was at a youth conference. This guy was talking. He was, at the time, he was the leader of like a college ministry, and he went on this like vacation trip for training purposes, and he goes and this cashier's like there. She's just super happy. And he's like, "Oh, the people in front of you paid for your meal." He's like, "Awesome." Drives off. His wife is in the car behind him. She pulls up, and the girl's crying, and is like, she's like, "Well, what's wrong?" It's like, we just had a chain of like 5 hours, people paying for the car behind them, and the car in front of you broke it. And it was her husband.
Oh my.
It was the
gosh.
pastor. It was hilarious.
Love that. Made her
Yeah.
cry, poor lady.
It's probably like a mixture of like the happiness of seeing it done, but
Yeah.
then the disappointment.
Last minute thoughts, I guess. You said the youth leader was deserving. It did. Doesn't the Bible say you somewhere you reap what you sow? I think it's also in that same passage.
Yeah.
About giving what you decide in your heart cheerfully. So reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're
Amen.
generous, God's gonna bless you with
Yeah.
something. I mean, like it's not always like a like for like,
Yeah.
And He's already blessed us, so we don't need
Exactly.
that blessing. But more often than not, like you're gonna end up getting it back. I think the Bible says it might say tenfold. That might be a number I just pulled out of nowhere, but it sounds right.
It sounds right. Yeah, and if you talk to anyone that's been tithing for a while, they say like, they would never go back. Like, one, they don't notice it being like missing anymore, and two, like they just feel like they have more than before tithing, right?
Yeah.
Or just acts of generosity in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never regretted being generous. That's
No,
like
I
an
think-
important thing to say.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like it's not something you'll regret.
Mm-hmm.
Even like you can be a couple weeks later and you're a little short on bills, but you're like, oh man, I wish I didn't give money to that homeless person. Like you're never gonna think that.
Right, like
it's
the
like, okay,
$5 wasn't gonna make a
Yeah,
difference.
like
Yeah.
I'm gonna move some stuff around and make this work. It's not. It's like, oh dang it.
Like God's got a way for me to get through like this financially tight season. And,
Yeah.
yeah, that time I helped out Pat's yard.
Man, I
I
could
could have been working, get overtime. Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, you'll never regret it. That's for sure.
No.
I've even tried to start. Does this sound generous? So like I noticed
Sure.
at the gym. I noticed at the gym. Was it yesterday? Someone could not get like the cable machine to like raise up. Like she's tugging on the pin, and she gets it out, and then she moves it. And of course, it snaps right back in. So I was just like help her, but like I was on the stair climber, so halfway I was super excited to get off the stair climber, like for no reason.
Yeah.
But second, like I felt bad because I had been watching her struggle for like 2 whole minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, but I was
Man.
expecting like one of like the 4 people around her on this like cable thing to help her, and no one was. I was like, oh my gosh. So I
Yeah.
just went over. I don't know. I guess that's kind of.
I
I
think
want to
it's
say
That's just
yes.
doing the right
I'm gonna
thing,
say it's
right?
2 things. It's
Yeah.
generous and it's a beautiful picture of the fact that like we always assume someone else is gonna do it,
Yes.
Yeah.
and at some point like you just have to be the one to step in. You have to be
Yeah.
the one that's gonna do it.
Right. Yeah, my wife and I were just talking about that last night because I told her that story, and she said how she saw a little kid like fall in the street, and she's like, told her friend, she was like, I'm bleeding. It was crying, and she's like, oh no, do I do something? I'm like, we need to just start being the people that do something and
Wait.
stop like looking around.
The ultimate question is, did she do something for the kid?
I don't know. I think the girl just got up and was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but like before that moment,
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh no, what do I do?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like goal, I guess. So
Yeah.
just be the one
Be
that
the
does
person
something.
that does something.
Yeah.
Maybe a t-shirt.
Stop waiting around.
Yeah.
For good turds or whatever. Also, we should have a logo if you're watching this episode.
We should have a logo before you see any of them.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Doing a little pre-work.
Yeah, a little behind the scenes. All these are pre-recorded. Not all of them at some point. I don't know, but
Yeah, subscribe to the Patreon for our first live episode.
yeah, coming in early 2026. It's
Yeah.
2025.
It's in the works.
Sponsored by Alani Minis.
Yeah, specifically only the minis. Oh my goodness. You guys got anything else?
I think that's about it.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned something.
Yeah.
You know, give people stuff.
And just be what did we just say for the t-shirt? Be the ones that
That does something.
be the one that does
Be
something.
the person that does something.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Can I get a witness?
All right.
Awesome.
Well, I think that wraps it up.
I think it
Yeah.
will for
All
this
right.
episode.
Well then, thank you guys for listening to us
Yeah,
on
the
The
ride
ride
home.
home.
Thank you.